Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for the third and final installment of our new series, Triumph, Black Leaders in Cyber. I'm Delisha Hodo, the Undergraduate Student Advisor for SANS.edu, as well as the co-chair of SANS+HBCU Committee. Today, I am joined by Toni Benson, the Acting Associate Director within the Cyber Defense Education and Training, also known as CDET, which is a sub-division of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA. They are supporting the Department of Homeland Security. So, Toni, thank you so much. Welcome and good morning.
Hey, good morning, Delisha. It's good to be here, and thanks for having me today.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to have you. And for those out there who are joining us and watching this, do you mind sharing a little bit about your background and how you discovered cyber?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a little bit about my background. I'm from Dover, Delaware. So, a lot of people are like, Dover, Delaware, where is that? Don't worry, we are on the map as the first state. And now we have Joe Biden, I guess, to kind of rep a little bit. But I'm from Delaware. I went to Delaware State University. I'm proud HBCU, Go State. And and I spent some time at Delaware State University. Obviously, I graduated with my undergraduate degree. And then I went ahead and even before I got to, I guess, college, I should say, I Googled, which it wasn't Google back then, but I don't know what the platform was. And I was like, what are going to be the most lucrative careers in the next, 20 years? And cyber came up as one of those careers. So that's literally how I kind of chose cyber as my path. Started out as computer science, said this is not for me, coding, but management information systems, a little mix of business and IT. And that was my niche. So that's how I really got into cyber. The career goes on in progression to military and then private sector and then back to civilian government. But that's definitely how I got my start. And it definitely was not. It was not necessarily, hey, let me seek out my passion. It was like, hey, let me do something that's going to be lucrative and something that I can continue to do for the next 20-ish years. So that was my goal.
And I appreciate you saying that because I feel like that's real for a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't necessarily know, what they want to do and don't necessarily have their passion discovered at that point. So the fact that you're just like, oh, let me just Google, to have the thought process to say, let me Google the top careers in the next 20 years, and the fact that cybersecurity popped up, and now we're in a moment where cyber is the time right now, and it's super important, and it's growing, and people are starting to realize the importance of it. I think is amazing, and it just speaks to the importance of people just stepping out there. Like, it's okay to Google different opportunities and figure out what may fit for you. And I also think it was important that you mentioned that you tried computer science and you discovered that encoding didn't necessarily work for you, but that didn't mean that the technology space and sector and cybersecurity didn't work for you. So I think
Oh,
that's a really important piece that people should understand as well.
absolutely. There's so many paths in cyber, and don't limit yourself. Explore and learn what those paths are. But there's so many different opportunities out there. And trust me, there's something within cybersecurity that's your niche and something that you will, wake up in the morning and then love and enjoy doing. And I do that now, right? I did start off with let me find out what's lucrative, but now it's ever changing. I constantly can be looking at new things, be innovative, and so for that fact, I'm excited about cybersecurity, where it is today and where it's going to go in the future. So it's a good match for me.
Definitely, for sure. And shout out to Delaware State.
Hey, state all day.
Yes. And speaking of Delaware State, so you mentioned you earned your bachelor's degree. You started in computer science, you ended with management information systems. What about your experience at DSU that you love most, and how has it prepared you for your current role today?
Oh, I mean, there's so many things I can say about state and really HBCUs altogether. Really, in my time at Delaware State University, afforded me an opportunity to really get to know myself. I think, when you're in high school and you're younger, you try to do the things that your parents want you to do. As you start to get older and mature, you learn that happiness comes from the things, joy comes from the happy things that make you happy, right? And so making sure that you're doing the things that work for you, right? Not necessarily for everyone else. But Delaware State University just gave me an opportunity to really not only appreciate the skin that I'm in and appreciate the person that I am, but also to have the confidence to know that I'm enough to go out into this world and conquer it and do the things that I really want to do. I mean, I won't give all that to Delaware State, all that credit. You know, I had great child rearing and I have a great supportive family. But at the same time, being around people that look like you, being in an atmosphere that supports that and really helps you understand the background and the knowledge was very, very important to me in my early years. But I enjoyed everything about state. I'm a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Have to shout out my sorority as well. But that also, that sisterhood that I gained there, I have a biological sister whom I love, but I also got a whole new network of sisters that helped me. So I think my time at Delaware State University just taught me to mature, taught me to love who I am, and that I can conquer the world with who I am, and I don't have to necessarily change. I can bring my whole self to any situation, and I am good enough. So I love State for that. I love HBCUs for that. And shout out to all my HBCUs because we're all great. So
Yes, definitely shout out to all the HBCUs out there. Shout out to the Deltas. I love Deltas. They're some of my favorite people, so it makes sense. And you definitely said something really important about feeling like you are enough, and attending a HBCU like this, or as you say, state, really brought that out and made you feel that and reaffirm that. And that's something that HBCUs do all the time, and one of the main important pieces of us having historically Black colleges and universities. So I think that's always important, especially in a field like cybersecurity that we're trying to break into and diversify, and knowing that you are enough and that you are needed and that you are important to this space. So thank you for sharing that. And prior to you, joining the Department of Homeland Security, so kind of fast forwarding a little bit, of course, you served our country in the U.S. Air Force as a communications officer. For the veterans out there who are looking to make a transition, what can you advise or give them any tips to if they wanted to reach the goals and the position that you have right now?
that's a great question. You know, I did spend some time in the Air Force, go Air Force as well. It was a good time in the Air Force. It helped me grow up very quickly. I went in as a commissioned officer, so I did ROTC while I was at Delaware State University, and then I went into the Air Force as a commissioned officer, and I went into communications. And it was a great experience. When I say I had to learn quick and on my feet, I definitely had to do that, right? And coming in as like a young 20-year-old in charge of people who may be twice your age, it was humbling. I never have really come into situations, and my leadership style is not one that I know everything and everyone listen to me because I have this position or title. I want to absorb, I want to learn, I want to be better for the people. I had a commander one time say, and this has stuck with me all the way through, and will continue to stick with me. But you take care of the people will take care of the mission. And I think that as a leader, and really leadership is not just about the position. Everybody's a leader, but leadership, you really have to take care of your people, understand what their needs and wants are, and they in turn will take care of any and everything you need to. It's a trust thing. It's a mutual respect thing. And I think my time and my advice to veterans is that in the military, we get some of the best training, whether it be, boot camp, which at the time doesn't feel like the best training, but because it makes you kind of learn, break down, and work as a team. Through any leadership courses, the military definitely invest in their troops in ensuring that they have what they need to be successful. And so we have to take advantage of that while we're there, right? Don't just look at it as your job, but look at it as an opportunity for you to grow beyond your career. So even if you're a lifer, as they say, a whole career full of military, you still want to go out and be productive after that. And so all of the training, all of the free schooling that you can get, take all of those, I like to call them little nuggets, take all of those nuggets and store those because those things will be essential for your success in the future. And I always say, get all you can get out of the military because it gets all it can get out of you. And so those schoolings, those trainings, those are things that I would say as a veteran, just make sure you take those opportunities. And then if you want to go into civilian government afterwards, there's plenty of things like pathways. There's plenty of different opportunities. Pathways is an actual program, not just pathways in the sense of how you get there. But there's different programs that you can leverage from military to civilian government. So like I said, there's a ton of opportunities out there. Just make sure you prepare yourself while you're in there. And then when you're ready to do that transition, that you've put those pieces in place. So it's just a seamless or easy transition into the civilian sector.
That's some great advice, and you definitely dropped a nugget a little bit earlier when you were speaking about leadership. The fact that if you take care of your people, they'll take care of the mission. I feel like that's a very powerful nugget and something that we're going to probably keep with myself, and I'm pretty sure people who are listening are going to take with them, especially those who are either in a leadership or management position or aspiring to be. And just understanding the importance of trust, leadership, and having the ability to pour into the people who are working and supporting, and then trust that they're going to support the mission because they're being poured into. So definitely appreciate that nugget that you just dropped. And speaking of, your position in CISA, there's a lot of great things that you all have going on. Has anything been announced recently in relation to cybersecurity, or is there anything new going on?
Absolutely. Look, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency says we have a ton of things going on all the time, right? Obviously, we have the operational things, but one of the things that I really love and one of the recent changes is that we got a new director. And our new director, Director Easterly, Jennifer Easterly, she is really there for the people. She's really there about bolstering the workforce, and she's really dedicated to diversifying the workforce. And that's one of the things that resonates with me. It's something that's important to me. It's something that I try to champion at every opportunity, right? Because diversity is important. It's important for so many reasons, but one of the areas that I think is missed is that diversity of thought and background. People from different backgrounds bring different perspectives, and something that you can't necessarily get if everybody in the room comes from the same demographic or comes from the same regional area. And not to make, not to say that all Black people are monolithic, right? That we're all the same, right? But there's some uniqueness about the experiences that we have, and people of color, gender. There's uniqueness to that, and having that at the table to make decisions. You'll hear me say this often if you ever hear me speak at any event or just with my team. Representation absolutely matters, and not just representation in the number sense, but representation at every level, right? Because the people that are making the decisions also need to have a broad and diverse group. And so that's something that I believe she truly advocates for. I know that internal to the workforce, she's just not about diversity, but also belonging. And so she shared messages to the general public, but also internal messages to the staff to really help us understand that this is something that's at the core of who she is and at the core of her beliefs as a leader. And so I think that's a great and refreshing change. I know that we are super operational. We're definitely operationally heavy and busy all the time. Trust me, the adversary does not take a break. They're not worried about holidays. They are constantly on one and always trying to, up us. But we have to, going back to that gem earlier, we have to take care of our people so that they can in turn take care of the mission. And she has said, and she has demonstrated that that's what she really is about. So just from that aspect, I just want to say that we have a great new director who I think is really looking at the people aspect and also the operational, but a ton of programs, right? And I'll just speak from the lens of the programs that I run. So again, I am in charge of the cyber defense education and training, and I like to think of us as the nexus between cyber education and workforce development, and how do we kind of make sure that those two come together. So from our standpoint, we're starting a HBCU feeder program. So we do work with K through 12 from cyber education, where we help educators learn about cyber and incorporate that in the classroom, but we also help students as well. And so what we want to do is students with disabilities and also students that come from underrepresented areas or underserved areas within our country. How do we get them into feeder programs to get them into HBCUs? So that's something that we're kicking off this fall that I am super excited about. More detail to come on that. We're also about to award a grant for a non-traditional training provider. And so the window for applications has closed, but we're about to award this grant. And this grant is targeted toward, again, underserved and underrepresented communities in cyber. And what we're trying to do is provide free, trying to provide training opportunities for them and also internship and apprenticeship opportunities so that we can not only train, but also get them into jobs. And so that's the key. One piece is to train, the next piece is to get them into the workforce. And so an announcement will be made, in the upcoming month or so about, who the grantee will be. But it is just a great opportunity for us to work with the community and provide our operational experience with their knowledge and know-how to make things happen. And so it's going to be great. I'm super excited about both of those programs. We have more things coming up. We have some partnerships with some different organizations out there. And like I said before, our current director is really into workforce and really into getting us to a place where we have a diverse workforce that's reflective of what this country looks like. And so we want to do that. We want to help other people achieve those goals. And I'm excited about those two programs, but I'm excited about where CISA's going. And, stay tuned. I highly encourage everyone to follow CISA on all the social media platforms, because there's a ton of opportunities from job fairs to information that can be shared. So just make sure that, you're doing your part to be better, and to ensure about the different opportunities that are out there. And CISA is going to continue to do our part to make sure that we help diversify this workforce in the future.
Wow, that's a lot of work that y'all are putting in right now. So definitely salute to you all in the work that you're doing. I think that's one of the key reasons how I was able to connect with you and have you on this live stream series. I'm just speaking with some of the members of your team, Austin, Maureen. They were great. And the fact that the mission and the pathway that you all are on is similar to the pathway that we're also on, and trying to be more inclusive and diversify cybersecurity in ways beyond just at the entry level, but also at the leadership level, I think is very powerful. And we're super excited and proud to hear of the grantees who are going to be awarded very soon, as well as to see the apprenticeship and everything that you all are working on come together, because that's super important. And for people to understand that it doesn't just stop at training, but we also need to connect them to actual job positions and opportunities to be able to get in the field as well. So that's great that you all have been able to kind of connect and bridge that gap as well, all in one program. So for those who are looking to learn more about the HBCU pathway program and all the other pathways that you all have, where would you recommend them going?
Yeah, I can, and let me add one more thing onto my last statement. I don't think that CISA is not planning to do this alone, right? So this is a team effort. As the director says, CISA is a team sport, right? Our cybersecurity, is a team sport, and we need to make sure that we operate as a team. So it's not just the federal government and our agencies; it's also the private sector. It's SANS. It's all of these different organizations, nonprofit organizations as well, that have to come together and help make cyber the true team sport that it is, because we need each other for us to be successful. We all have a common goal, so working together is important. But to your point, yes, feel free to follow me, obviously, on LinkedIn. I try to repost, but CISA is the place to really follow. Like I said, on all social media platforms, they always post new things that we're doing. They also post things out from the director for new guidance. And so there's a great opportunity and a rich amount of information out there. So I say follow CISA at all of the different social media platforms that they have to keep to the latest up-to-date information about what we're doing within cyber, or what things we're promoting, or what things we're encouraging the private sector to do. So it's great. It's a great opportunity. So just make sure you tune into some of the changes that are coming.
Yes, definitely make sure you follow. Well, this has been a great conversation. I've been really excited to talk with you. As people can see, you're strongly representing not only state, Delaware State, but also HBCUs in general with your shirt. So salute to you and your whole team out there at CISA and everyone else that has come together to form this team to diversify and push more talented people into the cybersecurity pipeline. Thank you so much again for taking time out to speak with me this morning. Thank you to everyone watching out there. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. Go to their website if you want to learn more about the different pathways and opportunities that they're also providing as well. Also, join us for several more live streams this month, including the Norfolk State celebration live stream, as we'll celebrate the launch of the HBCU Cyber Academy that we have with them, as well as our final live stream with Christine Morsey on September 14th, as I'll talk with her about transitioning into cybersecurity and her experiences doing the WESIS scholarship program. So again, thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'm Delisha Hodo. I was joined by Toni Benson, and we hope you all have a great day. Thank you.